yes. So I love this. I love this as an idea.
Mm.
And if I kind of explained what I meant by it, and then I'll let Tom away with some of the elaboration. So the cup final goal, and we have a video of it in a second, but the cup final goal actually comes from Palace playing short from the goalkeeper. And it doesn't, the short passes don't last long before they kind of draw in a press and then hit Mateta on the halfway line with a sort of a good long pass. But it kind of felt like as soon as that long pass was played, it kind of felt like a counter attack. It kind of felt like bang, we sort of won the ball back and we're out.
Mhm.
Used to talking about we're used to talking about out of possession. Hang on, sorry, there's just some interference. We're used to talking about being out of possession, so defending, winning the ball, and counter-attacking. But this felt more like having the ball and then sort of conjuring this kind of counter-attack effect from it. Talk us through it, mate, from your point of
Yeah,
view.
let me show you because I think you like I say we mentioned that it's taken from this angle because of the lighting from our wide angle was really rubbish. So like you said, here's the start of it. It's a goal kick essentially. We've got an overload in the build up where we begin to play with that their four-player front players pressing, but you can see very quickly from that first pass it then changes to almost like a man-to-man press. Now, our principles and a lot of teams' principles when you're up against man-to-man is to play into the last line where you've got obviously 1v1s. And what's really interesting with this clip, and I've not highlighted it, well, I've highlighted in the second, is just watch, if you can see my cursor, Kamada. So it starts as a six, deep six, and then kind of moves higher to almost become like an eight, if that makes sense, up against up here. So really, like some in a conventional six position, he'd move parallel to Wharton, but actually he moves higher. Now, add a bit of context beyond this as well. We've had about 4 or 5 goal kicks that we barely got out of our penalty area, let alone half. So he's kind of thinking of ways that if we are going to go direct, maybe a couple didn't stick. He's going to have to become almost like the third 10 because we've got Saar who's come drop ball side, we've got Eze far side, and now you've got Kamada almost in that kind of third, almost in a 3-1-6 position here. And I've highlighted here, and exactly what you said, Ray. We've turned this build up into kind of a more direct bit of play. But from for me, the bit where it turns into that transitional phase is when the opposition are unorganized, if that makes sense. So I think in this at this point still, I think Man City are pretty organized with their far six, the two centre backs, one's covering, one's ball side. But very quickly with Kamada's position and obviously the excellent control by it. Now, for me, this is where it starts to become a little bit more transitional, where you've got Munoz supporting from deep, attacking the space behind his player. Let's say that's Riley. You've got and this run, by the way, I think this run here actually stops. I think it's Vardiol here on this left hand side, getting pressure on Mateta. So he just sees it out, I think, as peripheral, sees that O'Reilly can't drop, sees that Munoz, and now for me, now we've got them because Vardiol's dropped off means Mateta can play the pass into space. And you see now that structured build-up position, and now it comes into this looks very much like a counter-attack, doesn't it? They're all Man City's players are facing their own goal. It's a direct build-up, really, if you want to call it that way. But now, they're all even the way they're defending, emergency defending now, they're kind of panicking. They're not structured. It's the risk and reward of pressing man to man, I suppose. That if you don't win the first contact, if you have overloads and runners, that this is actually where it can end up. Now, obviously the cross and the even the run from Mateta occupies the two centre backs. The finish obviously being a pretty low XG as well, but it's yeah that I think the moment is that, and the catalyst for me in that moment is Kamada's forward movement to create a
Right.
bit more of an overload, which is he's an extremely clever player. He kind of picks up cues within games to position himself, and that's the level of detail he's brought to us this season. Is especially in this last kind of third of the season, is then little bits tactically to go right. We've not had much success building. What do I need to do to help my players higher up the pitch where we might need an extra, body there to? And for us in that certain moment, it worked unbelievably well. Yeah.
Did. And it's really interesting because, like you said, the context, and this is youth football and grassroots football all over. the context is that for probably 4 or 5 goal kicks where you tried to build, you kind of stuck at it, even when I think most fans were probably going, "Oh, really? Well, come on,
I
squeeze up
mean,
the pitch," and
yeah, absolutely. I think there was I don't know who it was now. There was a commentator that was saying in the game, "Oh, they need to close up and kick to," and he got a lot of praise as commentator because he as he said that it happened that we played in Mateta, but actually what he was talking about, I mean, if you listen to it properly, is close up and kick direct, and he said, "Oh, we just need to stop." Like, building up like that, and he's come out. Everyone's going on social media going, "Oh, brilliant
claimed it,
commentary."
didn't he? He claimed